Hello everybody, welcome to DFG Gaming. This is Belay and I'm here to bring you a quick first impressions video of XCOM 2. This game's been out for, I guess it's been a little over a week now. I picked it up, on release day and been playing it since then, and just want to give you guys a brief, like I said, first impressions just to let you know what I think of it so far, and probably follow this up with some gameplay videos or gameplay footage and see where we go from there. So ultimately, if you've never seen XCOM or XCOM Enemy Within or XCOM 2 or any publicity about them, the game itself is a squad-based, turn-based strategy game where you'll command a squad of anything from 4 to 6 soldiers, and you'll complete missions around the world. And it's all based off turns. You'll move your guys around, take actions. Once you've done everything you can do, pass your turn to your opponent. They do their thing, back to you, and just goes back and forth like that. If you're not a fan of that kind of strategy game, you're probably not really going to enjoy this one. Me personally, I love turn-based games. They're insanely fun to me, so I really like it. The big change storyline-wise between XCOM Enemy Within and XCOM Now is that, or XCOM Enemy Unknown, I should say. My bad. With XCOM 2, is that XCOM 2 assumes that we lost the war. In Enemy Unknown, we lost. The aliens won. They have invaded Earth and have basically lulled everybody into a false sense of security that they're here to help us. And you're supposed to pick up where basically you left off. It's 20 years later, and you're trying to stir up resistance and trying to fight back against the aliens. So, from the original XCOM Enemy Unknown, that's not the original XCOM, but for most modern gamers, that's the one everybody really knows. To XCOM 2, there have been a few improvements and changes. The graphics obviously have improved. I mean, they were pretty good originally, so I don't really fault them, for that. I mean, they just look better now. Everything's a lot more crisp. Another big improvement is the customization. They've actually, XCOM Enemy Unknown, you could do a lot of customization to your soldiers, but now in XCOM 2, you can customize everything from their nationality, their race, their gender, faces. You can add props so that, some of them will have a baseball hat, or I think there's a cowboy hat at some point. You can have them have bandanas across their face. You can pick different patterns, different colors. Even for the weapons, you can customize the look of the weapon completely. Another big change is that now you can actually have your enemies drop loot. So they'll drop items and you'll have so many turns to go pick it up, and then once you pick it up, it's there for you to use. And it can be anything from extended magazine to laser sights, just different attachments you can attach to your weapons to improve them, make them better, which is pretty nice. Another change is in your classes. In XCOM Enemy Unknown, you had your assault, your heavy, your support, and I forget the fourth one. That's probably really bad of me, but in the new XCOM 2, those classes have been modified. Oh yeah, you had Sniper in XCOM Enemy Unknown. I can't believe I forgot Sniper. That's what happens when you brain fart. You're on camera. But in XCOM 2, instead of those 4 classes, now you have your Ranger, your Grenadier, your Specialist, and your Sharpshooter. And basically, these are all just improvements on the previous classes, but they're all good improvements from what I can tell. The Ranger is your assault class, has a shotgun, but with the added addition of having a sword. So now your Ranger can rush in and do a slash attack, which hits pretty hard and can really get you out of some binds. Your Specialist now has a drone that follows her around. Makes hacking and giving first aid, that kind of thing. Makes that a lot easier since the drone itself can reach out farther and actually do that kind of thing instead of you having to move right beside of someone. So that's a welcomed improvement. The Grenader is basically your heavy, only instead of just having the minigun, now they also have a grenade launcher. Whereas before you had a rocket launcher, now you just have a grenade launcher. It's kind of the same, same purpose, but a little bit, different. And the sharpshooter is basically your sniper. The big improvement here is that when you start leveling your sharpshooter, the gunslinger tree for their skills actually is very useful. You can now make your sharpshooter be a pistol wielder. I mean, basically he can just run around and shoot the crap out of people with pistols instead of having to rely on his sniper rifle only, which makes things, it makes him pretty powerful and interesting as well. So now that I've kind of went over some of the changes and the improvements, we got to hit on the issues we've had so far. If you've not been hiding under a rock for the past week and you've tried to play XCOM2, you have, 50-50 shot that you have either ran into this or heard about it, that XCOM2 has not been optimized very well. There are a ton of frame rate issues on launch day when I downloaded it. I could barely play it. Between game crashes, video crashes, just random glitches that constantly were just screwing my game up. So I know that they're working on that, and I want to have faith in them and say, hey, you know what, it happens. It's a game on launch day. I mean, sometimes it happens. But it is something to keep in mind and something that they need to be aware of and that they need to try not to repeat. Because the game is a good game, but making the game unplayable at launch is a good way to kill off a franchise. It's just nobody's going to want to play the game, because if they have to play a little bit, crash, wait for patches, wait for everything to come along, eventually you move on to another game and your game no longer has the appeal then. Now, I don't know if this is just me. Maybe it's coincidence. Who knows? But initially, when I downloaded the game, I was running a R7 270X AMD Radeon 2GB video card. Now, that gave me some problems. Once I upgraded, which I had already planned to upgrade, I upgraded to two 970 GTX 4GB cards running in Sly. Now that I'm running in that, I haven't experienced any game crashes. I haven't experienced any video crashes. The frame rate is still kind of all over the place, but it is holding pretty much at a 30 frames per second kind of deal. Now, like I said, that could be pure coincidence. Maybe it's NVIDIA drivers versus Radeon drivers. Who knows? But just throwing it out there so that you know what it is, you know what's going on. You got an idea. One other improvement I forgot to mention, then I'll go back to the cons, is the concealment mechanic. Now when you start the game, most of your missions you're going to start in concealment. This makes it really easy and will kind of lure you into a false sense of security and make you make mistakes, but it is really nice to know that you can run around the map and not have to worry about randomly triggering an event. I mean, it can still happen. Don't get me wrong. Concealment is not a guaranteed you're safe, but as long as you move smart, you can stay concealed and not have to worry about that. So, back to the cons. Sorry for jumping around, guys. One thing that I have noticed that I'm not really sure if I call it a con, because I kind of like it, but I don't like it at other times, is the turn counter now. On some missions, once you're out of concealment, just when the mission starts, if you didn't start in concealment, sometimes it's both. You'll end up with a turn counter, basically saying, hey, you've got to get to point A in 8 turns, or you're just, mission's over, you lose. In some ways, I like this because it does keep the pace of the game quick. It does keep the pressure on, so that you feel like you have to keep pushing, you have to keep trying to make progress. You can't just sit around and, twiddle your thumbs and that kind of thing. Like, you actually have to keep trying to push, and it makes you have to take some risks, because if you don't, you're just not going to get there. The downside, and this is the reason I don't like it, is that since it is a turn-based game, I kind of like taking my time to make sure I'm moving everybody right and setting up elaborate strategies, that kind of thing. But when you have the turn counter, sometimes like I said, you have to take a risk, which can take your skillfully crafted plan and just throw a monkey wrench right into it, and you'll just have to be screwed over. So like I said, sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. Do I think it's a bad design? I don't really think so, but I can also see how a lot of people would feel that it is really bad design and shouldn't be in the game. And they're going to have that, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Different strokes for different folks. That's how it goes. But if you like it, it's good. If you don't like it, sorry. Other than those two issues, I've not really encountered too much that I was very negative toward XCOM about. For the most part, everything has ran smoothly after I did my video card upgrade. And like I said now, and to retouch on that, they have been releasing patches, small patches, throughout the past week and a half. So I think they are addressing the issue, and it may just take time. So the video card switching or upgrade that I did may have just been pure coincidence. Let me know in the comments if you've got a Radeon. If you use Radeon and Radeon drivers and you're having this issue, and if you have NVIDIA and you're not having issues, let me know in the comments. Maybe we can see a pattern here that, hey, maybe it is something just NVIDIA and Radeon, and that's the difference. But I do have faith. Firaxis Games is, they make really good strategy games. They're a pretty good company. I have faith they're going to fix it, and I don't really have too many hard feelings for them for having this issue at launch. It happens, when it does. The best thing you can do is just try to, fix it as quick as possible. Sometimes that's fast, sometimes that's not. It is what it is. It's life. But I think that's about it for my first impressions. Pros and cons kind of thing. My general opinion so far is that the game is really fun. It's really good. I like the fact that since your guys, when they die, they're dead for good, and you lose equipment, you lose skills. Your squad's down from having somebody that may have been maxed out in maybe a maxed out sharpshooter that could kill anybody across the map. If he dies, suddenly your squad is down that ability, and you have to figure out how to compensate them. So the game is incredibly fun to me. I've enjoyed it. So I'm close to 20 hours in. I know that might not seem a lot for a week and a half, but considering that, for half that time the game was unplayable for me, that's what it is. But overall, I would highly recommend the game. I would say that you need a little bit of a beefier system right now until they patch it. If you don't have a beefier system, it might be worth your effort just to wait. Be patient. Kind of keep an eye on it and wait for a patch to come out that fixes the video issues and the frame rate issues, and then pick it up and go at it. But overall, that's pretty much my first impressions, and I hope to be bringing you guys some gameplay soon and try to let you guys see how the game actually runs. If you like this video, give us a like down below. And if you want to keep with our future content, be sure to subscribe. We hope to be putting out a lot more videos. I apologize for this video being a little bit late, but hopefully we'll be able to get everything lined back out, and we'll be able to pump out some more content for you guys. And we'll go from there. If you guys have any suggestions for us, anything you'd like to see, be sure to put it down in the comments, and we'll try to see what we can do for you. Alright, this has been Belay with DFG Gaming. Have a good one.